Hey y'all, welcome to July. This video is going to serve as our July energy report as well as some new moon and Cancer messages. I'm a Cancer, so this is my way to celebrate with you all. My birthday was on the 4th, so happy birthday to all of the Cancers, and let's get into it. Let's get into some channeling. While I'm shuffling, I encourage you to check out my most recent post about Saturn retrograde because it has in-depth guidance for the next few months. Neptune also just went retrograde, and there are going to be separate messages about that. Some of it might come through today. And inside of the Overflows membership, there is sign-by-sign guidance for Saturn retrograde. We got the Knight of Wands, and we're using the Mother Tarot because Cancer, obviously. And this Knight of Wands is an angelic being, which I find to be very interesting because traditionally is depicted as a warrior, so this is obviously, you know, a spiritual warrior, right? So understanding that wands are spirit, and it's not always about like outward expressions of aggression, but it can also be spiritual elevation. And after I get a few cards, I'm going to get one card for the month of July, maybe more, we'll see, through the Oracle deck. Wisdom of the Shadow. We have the Two of Pentacles reverse. I'll show it to you right side up. But I think it's interesting that it came in reverse. And I don't always read reversals, but it's almost like the reverse is the right side up. And I think this speaks to the retrograde energy. This person is doing movement. They appear to be pregnant as well. So it's a season of, yes, retrograde, obviously, but also revisiting, reversals, going back, Sankofa even, like, and using your skills to help make a decision. Before I press record, I got July is about decisions. And carefully considering what it is that will not disrupt whatever it is that you may be growing or tending to. And so, of course, using your spirituality, using your divination tools, using your prayer, using signs, whatever it is that makes you gain clarity around the next right action. And the timing behind that, because we also have the Four of Cups, which in this particular deck does not necessarily feel like only just the disappointment and the not seeing the blessing that's before you. This also looks like a deep need for rest. Of course, we are in Cancer season, in the heart of it right now with the new moon in Cancer, and there is a heightened amount of emotion that may bring forth a sense of lethargy. So yes, rest is needed, but it's also like being drenched in the emotion, being bathed in the emotion, being washed new, so that you can create enough space through the release of the emotions right now. Eight of Swords is at the bottom of the deck. And I'll share personally that I got this card, Eight of Swords, in a different deck for the month of July for my personal birthday reading. And so with that being said, I'm going to stop because it feels complete. I may get some clarifiers, but I think this also speaks to decisions, but it's also about asking whether or not we're making decisions from our past or we're making decisions for our future, and the discernment that we're using. Is it through wounding? Is it through shadow? Or is it through rising into and above? And that's not necessarily bad, because sometimes our shadow is the only place that we can access certain power because we haven't fully integrated it yet. And so while it may make you feel like a villain, or it may make you think something negatively because it's not normally what you would do, can also be a symbol of integration, of making choices from a place of strength, from a place of character that you have not fully accessed and integrated yet. And so consulting these other versions of your soul to help you make choices, to navigate whatever decisions that it is that you need to make. So you're making these choices, you're walking this path without fear, because you see yourself, you see your possibilities, and you can imagine futures where you are more whole, you are more all of you. Is there chaos around? Potentially in some places. Of course, the world generally, absolutely. But this is about cultivating inner strength through prayer, through practice and ritual, and also through being still enough to feel your feelings in a very real way. Because I think this Two of Pentacles reverse is also like the ceasing of busyness. Like, yes, you have practice, yes, you have routines, and it's great to have that structure, and it's necessary to have that structure, but it's also like evaluating whether or not those same systems work for you, or if at sometimes they're just a distraction so that you don't have to feel whatever it is that you're feeling. And so now we are getting some more cards from a different deck. And it looks like closing messages will come from the Oracle. What are we doing, Spirit? Every sign is gonna get a message. Okay. So that's general Cancer season guidance, and we'll start with Cancers. Happy birthday. Cancer, you got the Lovers, the Four of Swords, and the Star. So of course, this is your season. I think it's interesting that you got the Four of Swords here instead of the Four of Cups. I think that indicates to me that your recalibration is going to definitely come through rest. You'll know in that Saturn retrograde message that water signs generally got stillness, but you are finding a deep inner peace, and it's through not only being in right relationship with yourself, finding places where you can be more aligned with your integrity, but also your identity, making way, Ace of Pentacles and Ace of Cups underneath that, for a rebirth, to align yourself with more opportunities for, I already said aligned, but that's what it feels like, aligned opportunities for love and material resource. And realizing what matters the most to you and being able to prioritize that, and recognizing that the way that you call things into you may look different than ways you have been trying to in the past, through potentially like busyness and action. And it's like, no, you need to prioritize peace of mind. And as long as you take care of yourself, Spirit is going to take care of the rest. Love, resources, gifts, offerings, relationships. And so things are being sorted out for you, and it's a time of receiving through confusion is what I'm hearing. Meaning you don't know what to do about a lot of things. And so you're really just having to follow the signs and trust. But there's deep healing and deep alignment available to you, and it is somewhat of a reset. And so nothing but good things, Cancer. Happy birthday. Leo. You got the Nine of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck is the Ace of Wands. And so for you, Leo, I feel a weariness, but it is because of an abundance of good. And so it's really, really important for you to prioritize your alone time, even though you're coming into a season of celebration, because you are going to want your, your strength. And I also think you're really thinking about I was going to say cultivating community, but it's really not about people. It's cultivating an environment that tends to your creative self. And so whether that is actually through what's pictured here in the card, a garden, but whatever it is, it's your environment, it's your surroundings, the sustainability of the aesthetic, like something that you can maintain, but it's always going to feel like a sanctuary, is really, really important for you at this time to support your growth and your creativity. Virgo. Two of Swords, Three of Wands at the bottom. For you in this Cancer new moon, Virgo, it is about making a choice to go after what it is that you've been talking yourself out of, and taking a risk. And it really is. It's about pretending, admitting to yourself that what you have been pretending as like logical and being a low risk is actually fear of exposure, success, and a different way of being. And so if you want it, you can have it. It doesn't make you unreasonable. So go for it. Or at least intend it under this new moon portal 7/7 energy. Okay. Libra. You got the same thing as Leo. Queen of Swords at the bottom, though, which is you confirming that this is your message in a similar way. I will get clarifiers for you to see if there are any nuances. The Sun and Seven of Swords, the Hierophant at the bottom. Yours is more particularly about nutrition and energy leaks that we talked about, or energy purging of digestive system clearing that we talked about in those Saturnian messages. So rewatch that and make sure that you start making those shifts and changes to your diet now. In Saturn retrograde guidance, I was like, anytime between now and November, you may want to do a cleanse or a purge. Libra, now. Because you need to support your physical body in a way that's going to strengthen your energy. Okay. Now you can be watching these for your rising signs as well. So take what resonates. Uh-oh. Mixing the cards up. Make sure I'm on D&D. For the one time ever I'm not. Okay. Scorpio. You got the Knight of Wands, the Four of Pentacles, and the Ten of Pentacles with the Nine of Swords at the bottom of the deck. And so you see the difference between these Knight of Wands in the energy. I love that they're both Black people. But look at the difference. So what that tells me is you are trying to address some very real, maybe material intensity, like physical stress, anxiety, or whatever, through like force, physical force, material force, even money, like trying to solve it. Like, well, if I had more money, if I had more of this. And it's not to say that resources would not help you, of course. But something that was coming through earlier for me right before I started recording was abundance is community. Abundance is community. And you see that here with this Ten of Pentacles. And so expanding your outlook of winning as just being you is going to support you, because there is more support or solutions than potentially you're aware of. There also may be community resources available to you if you need them personally, but also for your endeavors. And I think you've been thinking of like how you're gonna materialize these things instead of imagining that there's going to be a collective or communal pathway to your advancement and your success. And if you take that pressure off of you, it's like this is something that you have to do, then things are going to start to appear and things are going to start to come more easeful for you. So whatever that is and however that applies. Let me see. This doesn't change anything. Put my battery. Charge this camera. Oops. Okay. Sagittarius. Temperance. This is your card. You also got the Knight of Pentacles. So bringing a Knight of Pentacles, bringing a balance to your energy is also going to be supported through diet, but it's also going to get some clarifying message. Look how similar the Temperance card is to the Knight of Wands in the original collective message with the wings and everything. So spiritual study for you is going to bring you balance, but also like there's something around like holistic diet. I just heard Kemetic diet. I don't even know what that is, child. Let me see. Kemetic diet, ancient Egyptian wisdom. There's a book. There may also be ancient African. There may be some, but I'm hearing Kemetic diet for you, Sagittarius. Moving on. It's very specific and clear and loud. So I mean, I want to look into it myself as well, but that could be the knowledge also that the Sagittarius Collective has, you know, for us to support our physical being. Okay. You're like, what else? The general message, Sag, and then the closing guidance will also be supported, but that's the main thing for you, okay? Capricorn. Page of Pentacles, Knight of Cups at the bottom. Faith of a mustard seed. Like, that's all you need. And that is enough to overcome what may feel insurmountable. Not only that, you can do a lot with a little. And so something about having a lean economy or having limited or restricted access to resources is actually going to make you more creative if you stop letting it make you angry. And I know it may be hard to potentially either experience like an extreme cut in resources or to be coming up against blocks every time you're trying to expand. But the purpose of this is for you to be more creative. And as you lean into that creativity and really pray over what it is that you have, you're also purifying yourself for when you do get access to more. And that purification actually doesn't have anything to do with whether or not you deserve it now. It's something about character development and integrity for when you access another level where you'll be under higher levels of scrutiny, is what I'm hearing. So be faithful with what you have. Be faithful with what you have. And remember, this is not just personal resources. This could be applying to your career. Aquarius. Six of Swords, Temperance on the bottom. You're not just healing for you, Aquarius. You are healing to make sure that the people around you are also safe emotionally, and that you have inner peace. This is Truth card, Four of Swords, and then Two of Swords is peace, is the clarifier. So it's all mental with you, and it makes sense, of course, as an air sign. But this is about cooling your head, and Cancer season really is here to support you in, and July in general is so that you can tell not just the truth, but your truth. And when you realize that your truth is different than other truths, that is not the superior truth, you're going to access a healing that does make it safe for other people that you are in relationship with, but you're also going to model through the integration of that understanding, maybe in a way that frustrates some people, but I think it's actually you first who is going to experience the upset when you realize that, oh, like maybe I wasn't right in the ways that I thought I was right. Six of Swords. And so maybe I need to make amends, or maybe I need to submit penance, or maybe they owe me an apology or whatever. But in having those conversations and moving forward, Cancer season is trying to push you in the direction of peacefulness versus contention, and not through detachment, like cut off, I don't care, but through an actual embodiment of peace. Okay. Pisces. 10 of Wands. I'm gonna get you one more. I kept shuffling and didn't see the bottom of the deck, which means that it didn't feel complete, or you need more to the story. Four of Wands, King of Wands at the bottom. It feels heavy because it's not yours, and you do need to give some of this to the person to hold so that it can be distributed evenly. That could look like delegation, that could look like saying no, but there is a sense of boundary that Saturn is teaching you, and it's going to be teaching you over and over again. And if you listen, you'll instantly feel stronger. You'll instantly feel like you can handle what is yours to actually handle. Page of Cups. Aries. Then we have Taurus and Gemini, and then we'll close with the wisdom of the shadow. Nine of Pentacles. It's so important. It's so interesting that it keeps coming up. And you also have Page of Cups at the bottom, Aries. So I'm gonna see if this is also about the physical diet for you, or So you may actually want to sign up at like a community garden, or, you know, volunteer as something that is going to give you an outlet for solitude. And so be thinking about how you can offer up yourself in service potentially to land in some way, but that's also going to stabilize and ground you through this emotional intensity. And you may find that you discover something that you do want to do in the long term, and that it's not just like a remediation thing for whatever is coming up right now. And maybe you don't do it all the time, maybe you only do it in certain seasons, but it is. And then there's also something about a subscription. This is very specific, but if you've had like a subscription to a local community farm box, or you let it lapse, or you've been thinking about it, you're being encouraged to support that cooperative again. Taurus, 4 of Cups, 10 of Swords. So this is happening early for you. In my membership, please watch the guidance for Taurus for Saturn retrograde. But be gentle. 1 second. I'm angry, not at you. I'm like, don't like the way people like do you sometimes. 10 of Pentacles. Yes, this is where you should be, not here. And actually this is where you are, but for whatever reason you're feeling this burnout or on the brink of burnout. And it's because the creative outlets aren't being tended to as much as they need to be. So keep your eyes on your own paper. You are very typically phenomenal at doing that, but I don't know what's going on, but something is causing some memory or some haunting of the past. Yes, they confirmed that I know what I'm talking about, High Priestess. There's like a glitch in the matrix right now with you that's causing some destabilization within your mindset that is not common for you. And it could be the Neptune retrograde making you see shadows, see things, like I said, hauntings from the past. But be here now, do your practices to make you feel present, and focus on what it is your work to do, but also what it is that you want to create, so that every time something makes you think of all the things you haven't done yet. I don't know. So we can work together with that more deeply. If you are a client, I happen to have a few Taurus clients, but if we don't work together one-on-one in the context of making your dreams come true, that's literally the work that we do, getting you out of the realms of the almost is what I call it. So I'd be happy to help you navigate that. Gemini, happy birthday to you too. Belated birthday. I hope it was everything. 9 of Cups, the Empress, it looks like it was. So it's like a journey from here to here, right? And this is more of a youthful presence in this person, and this is more of like the grown version of this same energy, right? You can see the progression. So of course you're like eternally the child and have all of this childlike wonder, but how do you start to see through the lens of longevity? And embracing your energy for manifestation. And it's like, it does seem like you've called a lot of your energy back to yourself, which I love to see. Yeah, 9 of Cups and completion, but 2 of Cups on the bottom, which means 1, this is your soul. So it's like you are balancing yourself out, but also like being a lot more particular with who you engage with and who you give your energy to, your love energy, particularly with Venus being so prominent here. And then 6 of Pentacles underneath and 3 of Swords hiding, the Moon under. So it's very much about finding your happiness and finding your joy again after separation, after wounding, after heartbreak. these things are underneath, but that doesn't mean that they're not there, and they are the story which you come into this Empress energy. And as a Venus and Mercury and Gemini, like, yes, like clearing up the heart from the things that did not allow for simpatico union to occur, and facing that head on and balancing out what's appropriate in relationships. Two of Pentacles underneath that is where you are, and I love it for you. And I also, you are the center of your universe, and I don't want you to hear me saying otherwise, but also know that the function or the purpose of you coming into your wholeness at this time is so that you can also, I want to be specific in how I say this. I'll show you better than I can tell you, Spirit said. The purpose of you doing this work of wholeness and healing is also for the togetherness, because the Nine of Cups is just you. The Ten of Cups is you with. It is the highest good of all. It is being in community and being able to come back into and in relationship with those Two of Cups alignments without losing yourself. Yep, Ten of Cups again, Empress, Two of Swords in a different deck. So it's like you can maintain this energy and still be with others. And so what is the wisdom and the lessons learned in that as you reflect on your solar return? Closing guidance for everyone. Frustration and victory. So we will probably be feeling stronger, of course, as we get into Leo season. I've never seen victory card before. I feel like I pulled for frustration several times, but let's get into it. We'll get into both. Heat is what like art is called, and it's hot as hell. Okay, I feel the warmth of passionate truth rising within me. I notice inner friction and discomfort when it comes up. Just as physical friction creates heat, internal energetic friction creates a heat within us. If we get upset, annoyed, defeated, disappointed, or feel blocked from accomplishing what we want, we can likely feel the internal friction or dissonance rise up in our system. This friction can create the spark or flame that leads to anger or rage, but only if we fuel it. It is important to be compassionate with ourselves when we experience frustration. If we resist it or we create more friction, we will certainly fuel that bigger internal fire. This is an invitation to allow ourselves to be frustrated and to experience the holy fire and righteousness within our human lives, our very human lives. Our emotions are valid as they are. Cancer season wants us to validate ourselves, right? Our emotions especially. We are invited to lean in rather than push harder or push them down. Frustration can arise from the patterns we've created with our body or nervous system. How can we remedy that and repattern our responses to frustration when it rises up? Gently notice any desire for things to be different than they are. Consider asking yourself, why do I get frustrated? Not from a place of self-blame, but with curiosity for deeper understanding. What can you learn from the passion within? How can that be fuel for deepened conversations or an expression of your truth? So how do we find victory after frustration? The journey of life is fraught with obstacles. We can find obstacles within us: our mind, motivation, hesitation, doubt, fear, uncertainty, insecurity, or physical limitations. We can encounter obstacles around us, other people's perspectives and judgments, societal pressures, collective expectations, systemic structures, biases, discrimination, inequality, finances, and countless other physical and invisible obstacles. We certainly could not walk this world without some experience of challenge and the overcoming of obstacles. Victory deserves well-earned celebration and acknowledgement. To rise, claim our power, and persevere despite challenges is no small task. Do we celebrate our victories? Do we acknowledge all that we have overcome? Do we celebrate the victories of others? Do we offer a hand to support others in being victorious? How can we carry an essence of victory? An essence of victory. That is in my spirit now. I carry an essence of victory. I'm victorious. And actively work towards consistent change. Consider ways that challenges have shown up in your life. Think about times or ways you have overcome obstacles. Consider how you've been strengthened by your victories. Plan ways to remind yourself that you are powerful and victorious. And the one thing that you need to know about Cancer season generally is it is power. Cancer is raw power. And getting what you want is one thing, and it's possible. Getting what you need for protection, safety, the cultivation and nurturing of love and community is a very calculated and intentional force. And we can be frustrated with the way things are, but Cancer is activating us into shifting into something new, always is, and use the power to shift things as you want them to shift. We are really supported right now. In particular, something about Sirius is coming up. I know the new moon was conjunct the fixed star Sirius, but right now we are very supported in shifting things, not necessarily just personally, yes, but I just feel a collective will turning. So we can see what that means more deeply at another time in another place, but let the anger and the frustration fuel the victory, whatever that means for you. Okay. All my love. I invite you to become a member at theoverflow.com. If you want to work with me one-on-one, you can visit me at timiljones.com. If you want to give me a love offering for my birthday, I definitely will receive it. Yes, thank you. And my tip jar is in the description. Bye.